This fall, I harvested a lot of wild plums and I saved all the stones to make homemade almond extract. This is so much fun. You can use all kinds of different stone fruits. The first thing you're going to do is take your stone fruit pits and just dry them out and dehydrate them. Get them a little dry, put them on a paper towel, rinse them a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, and just stick them in the dehydrator. Should take about 12 to 24 hours. Lay them out. I like to put them on a piece of parchment. Once they're dry, they should be nice and brittle because we're going to crack them. And I actually cracked these all by hand. I do not recommend doing that. It was extremely tedious. You can use peaches, apricots, different plums, all kinds of different fruits. Wild plums are extremely small, but the compound that is going to flavor the liqueur or the extract, it's basically both, is in the pits of all kinds of different stone fruit, and it's called amygdalin. It's what gives stuff the almond flavor, and I talk a lot more about this in a couple posts on my website that are linked at the top of the video description. So you're going to crack all those and you're going to remove as many shells as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. And just top the jar, put them into a pint jar, top it off with vodka. And I love these non-reactive ball lids because if you use aluminum, it's going to react and it gets really nasty. Okay, after a month, you're going to strain all of that, put it into a jar, add some simple syrup to taste, and that's it. Okay, so this is traditionally used in preserves, drinks, anything with dairy and fruit, everything. One cool thing to talk about is my bird cherry cake. So this is made with dried, ground choke cherries, black cherries, any kind of wild cherry. And after I sift them, I have all kinds of shell and stone fragments left over that get caught in the sifter. So what I do is I make a version of this that is all cherry, and it is absolutely the nectar of the gods. You could sip it by itself, but it is an extract too, basically for making drinks. So I just do the same thing. You could use brandy or vodka and just pour it over the discard from making the cherries. This is also really good used to make panna cotta. This is like one of the simplest things. So I'm going to show you how to make a really simple panna cotta. The first key is to use leaf gelatin. Leaf gelatin is different from powdered gelatin. It's softer and it's not going to be gummy and firm unless you would add too much. So we just take cream, a little bit of sugar. You can add any sweetener you like. You soak the gelatin in cold water until it is soft. That's called blooming it. And then we just melt everything together. It's so easy. Now we just add some of the noyeaux to taste, just until it tastes nice and almondy. And this is something where you can just kind of go until it tastes right to you. You'll want about, 2 teaspoons per cup or something like that. And then you just pour those into ramekins. So easy, but just you're going to see the set on this. This is exactly how a perfect panna cotta should be. Like a perfect panna cotta should wiggle and it should threaten to not hold its shape. I'm just going to take a little spatula and unmold it. And I always unmold these off center. That always happens to me. If that happens to you, don't worry. Take some stewed fruit that you can add the extract to as well. And that is just a really wonderful dish. You can use this with anything that has cream. Fruit preserves. It's also traditional if you put it in fruit preserves, jams, and jellies. Use it to make compound liqueurs. Add it to your nocino. Put it behind your ears like cologne. It's wonderful stuff. The full recipe is linked at the top of the video description. Thanks for watching.